Now it's time to answer the quiz. Question number 1 asks, which of these is the numerator and which of these is the denominator? Well, the 7, the one above, is the numerator. The 19 below is the denominator. Question number 2 asks, what fraction is represented by the shaded region over here? Well, let's see. Well, this looks a lot like this right here. So it looks like 1, 2, 3. We got 4 parts, of which we have 2 of them. So the fraction is just 2/4. What is the reduced form of this fraction? Just cut everything in half, and you get 1/2. For question number 3, I want to shade 2/6 in here. Well, very easy. Here's the first 6, and can't go wrong with pepperoni, so there's the other one. Now, there's a follow-up question. What is the reduced form of 2/6? Well, again, just divide everything in half, and you get 1/3. Question number 4, you're classifying a list of numbers. Well, that's something I can just recite here on the video, or you can just read about it, so you're going to read about it. Sorry. For question number 5, I want to reduce or simplify each of these fractions. For the first one here, well, there's an 8 and everything, so 1/2. This one, well, nothing will really reduce it. It's already reduced. It just stays the same. How about this one on top right here? Well, first off, I can just cancel the zeros. So I'm left with 9/12. There's a 3 in each. So divide by 3, divide by 3, and you're going to get 3/4. Now the whole number stays with mixed numbers, so just reduce the fractional part. Cut everything in half, you're going to get 2/3. And we're done. For question number 6, I want to write equivalent fractions with the given denominator. So for this one, what's the game plan? Well, we divide 77 by 11, you get 7. Times 6, you're going to get 42. That's our answer. Do the same thing for this one. If I want 54ths, I'm going to divide 54 by 9. I'm going to get 6. Times 2 is 12. So the final answer is going to be 12/54. For question number 7, I want to find the LCD between a 5th and a 12th. Well, 5 doesn't go into 12 at all, so there's no need to do factor trees. Just multiply the two numbers together. And 5 times 12 is 60. Question number 8 wants us to put one of these 3 symbols in here to make this a true statement. Well, we have a rather slick way to see if 2 fractions are equivalent. We do a cross multiplication. So it's going to be this times this. Well, 3 times 15 is 45. Is that the same as 4 times 10 is 40? No. So we know they're not equivalent. So there's no equals. Let's check for the other 2 now. Now I'd like to figure out, well, which one is bigger or smaller than the other. Well, to do that, we need to get them both to have the same denominator. So let's do some factor trees. So I'm going to have 2 times 5. This is going to be 3 times 5. So doing the column approach, we're going to have 2 times 5. Here I'm going to have a 5 below here, and then 3 to one side. So it's going to be 2 times 5 times 3, which is 30. Aha! So let's create the blank fractions here. Let's squeeze one over here. 10 times what is 30? 3. 15 times what's 30? 2. So let's go ahead and erase this part right here so we have a little more room. Now what? Well, let's get some new fractions. So this is going to be just 9/30ths, and this right here is going to give me 8/30. Well, now it's obvious 9 is bigger than 8, so that's gone. We're going to use this symbol right here. For question number 9, I want to do a whole bunch of conversions. For this first one here, I want to convert 8/3 to a mixed number. Well, just do long division. 8 divided by 3 is going to give me 2. The remainder is 2 also. So you're going to have just 2/3 left over. Now this one, I want to convert to an improper fraction. So we do our famous little arrows thing here. So 9 times 3 is 27 plus 2 will give me 29/3. Now this one I'm going to convert to decimal form. Again, just do long division. 5 divided by 4, you're going to get 1.25. That's it. Over here, I want to convert 3/11 to decimal form. Again, use long division. 3 divided by 11, and you're going to get 0.2727272727 forever. So what do? Just put a bar over the 2 and the 7. That's it. Now the 1.8, I want to convert to a common fraction. So the rule is just divide by 1, and then if you scoot this over one place, you put 1 0 right there. And now reduce this fraction, and you're going to get 9/5. Now 0.35, convert that to a percentage. Super easy. Just scoot over the decimal place, 2 spots, and you're going to get 35, and then just write down the percent symbol. Let's continue. Let's continue with 4/5. I want to convert this to a percentage. Well, just use long division. And if you do that, you're going to get 0.8. Then what? To convert this to a percentage, you scoot the decimal point over 2 spots. 1 and then 2 over here. Put a 0 right there. So that's just 80. So write down 80 and then throw in the percent sign. For this one, I want to convert 2.1 to decimal form. Well, that's even easier. Just scoot my point 2 places over here. 1, 2. And let's clean that up. So that's just going to be 0.021. 17%, I want to convert this to a common fraction. Well, anytime your percentage, you want to make it a fraction, first lose the percentage and just divide by 100. So the answer is just 17 over 100. For this last one, I want to convert 1/3 divided by 8 to just a common fraction. So the first step is to change this around to get 1/3 divided by 8. Now we want to change this division to multiplication. So put that over 1 and we invert and multiply. So we're going to get 1/3 times 1 over 8. That's going to equal 1 over 24. That's 1/24. For question number 10, I want to know what is the value of the unknown fractional part of the following pie graph. First off, you might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, Mr. Math Tutor, we never saw anything like this in any of the video clips. What is this thing doing on the quiz? Well, I threw it in there by purpose, just to make your life miserable. No! No. Reason it's in there is because oftentimes on an exam, you will encounter things you've technically never really seen before, but based on your knowledge of mathematics, on what you've done previously, you should be able to figure out what to do. Now, looking at that pie graph, what should we do first? Well, we need to figure out what exactly has been shaded. So I need to actually add up those fractions. So let's do that first. And now we want to actually add up our fractions. We have a 4th plus a 5th plus a 6th. So our first step is to find the LCD. So let's do some factor trees here. That's 2 and 2. 5 doesn't need any. It's prime. And that's going to be 2 and 3. So it's going to be 2 times 2, the 5 on the side, and I'm going to get a 2 here and a 3. So I'm going to get 2 times 2 times 5 and I'm going to have a 3. Multiply all this together, you're going to get 60. So 60 is our LCD. So we need to multiply each of these by something to get 60. 4 times what? Oh, how about 15? 5 times 12 would give you 60. And this is an easy one. 6 times 10 is 60. So I'm going to get all equal to, put our 60 down here. I'm going to have 15 plus 12 plus 10, and that's going to give me 37 60ths. Now the next step is to subtract this from 1. So now I need to remove 37 60ths from 1 entire pi. So that's the same thing as just saying 1 minus 37 60ths. So let's first off put that over 1. To subtract these, let's actually now just add the opposite first. And let's get a common denominator. So, well, between 1 and 60, it's going to be 60. So we have 60 down below. 1 times the 60 is going to be just 60. Plus negative 37 equals 23 60th. That is our answer. For question 11, I like to perform the following operations. So for the first one, let's see if we can cross cancel some stuff here. 5 and 15, I can zap some stuff. There's a 3 and 1, 7, 14. So I get 2 and 1. Multiplying these together, I'm just going to get 1 on top, and it looks like 6 on the bottom. Now for here, I want to change my mixed numbers into improper fractions. So I'm going to multiply, add. And you're going to get 19 6 times 11 fourths. Unfortunately, nothing cross cancels, so this is equal to 19 times 11 is 209. 6 times 4 is 24. And you just have to do long division to get your mixed number, and you're going to get 8 and 17 is the remainder, so put that on top of the 24. Now for this last one here, I'm going to change my division to a multiplication. So this is just 16 33rds times 11 fourths. So I can zap some stuff out. So here are the 4 and the 11s. So this just gives me, multiply those together, I get 4 over 3, 4/3. Let's do some more. Now let's divide these two mixed numbers. First step, change them to improper fractions. Let's do that. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9 halves, divided by 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17 thirds. Now, to divide, we invert multiply. So we get 9 halves times 3 17ths. And we try to cross cancel, nothing goes. A lot of people try canceling at this stage, but you don't want to do that. So here, no, nothing cancels, so just multiply them straight through. So you're going to get 27 on top, and on the bottom you're going to get 34. How about this one? I want to add those fractions together. Well, they all have a common denominator, so this is probably the easiest question on the whole quiz. Our denominator is 16. 1 plus 3 plus 7 is just going to give me 11. Let's do some more. Now let's look at this fraction right here. I want to add these up. Well, what's going to be our LCD? Well, since 3 and 7 are prime, nothing in common, we just multiply one by the other. It's easy. So let's do that over here. So I'm going to put a 7 and a 7, 3 and 3. So our common denominator is going to be 21. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 5 times 3 is 15. We add that together, and we're going to get 29 21sts. How about this one over here? Well, 2 is completely inside of 4, so if I want the LCD, it's just these two times each other, so it's 20. So let's multiply these by some numbers. So we get 20, this one needs to be a 4, this one's going to have to be 10, and over here I'm going to have 5. Put 20 down below, so we're going to get 16 plus, here's 10, plus 15. If we add those up, we're going to get 41 20ths. Now let's add up these two mixed numbers. Well, I'm going to put the whole parts together, so 9 plus 5 is going to give me 14. I'll write that down over here. So let's just bring down the fractional parts. And the LCD will be 6 because I'll just multiply one by the other. They're both prime numbers. So let's do that over here and over here. So 3 on top and bottom times, here's 2 top and bottom. So we end up getting 6 there. And we're going to have 3 plus 2 is 5, 6. And let's now add this part to the whole part. So for my final answer, I get 14 and 5 6. Now I want to subtract 3/8 from 2/3. What do? Well, whenever we see something like this, subtract something from something else, they actually switch around, remember? So the first I'm going to do is rewrite this as 2/3 minus 3/8. What's your LCD going to be? Well, no 3's fit into 8, so just multiply one by the other. It'll be 24. So I need to multiply this one by something and this one. Let's put our 8's over here, 3's right there. So let's put 24 on the bottom. And remember, once we've rewritten this, we're going to add the opposite. That's something I want you to start doing because for future math problems in algebra. So I'm going to add the opposites right here. And we're going to get 16 plus, here's a negative 9. And our answer is going to be 7 24ths. For our last problem, I want to subtract these two mixed numbers. Well, what should we do? Let's change them both to improper fractions. I think that's the better way of doing this. So we're going to multiply and then add, and multiply and add. So for the first one, we're going to get 57/8 minus, and this one's going to give me 19/5. I'm going to add the opposite. My LCD is going to be, well, just times the two of them together. Because no 5's fit into 8 and 8's don't fit into 5's. Nothing in common. So let's do that right now. So put the 5's here and the 8's over here. So my common denominator is 40, and I'm going to get 285 plus a negative 152. And when you put that together, you're going to get 133 40ths. Now, when we're dealing with mixed numbers, our final answer has to be a mixed number also. So, doing long division, you'd get 3 and your remainder is 13. So that becomes a new numerator for the fractional part. And we're finished! Well, we finally finished this lesson. Whew. And I have one thing to say. Way to go! So now I want to give you a very special virtual reward. Here it is. And you deserve it. Well, this is Luis Anthony Ast saying thank you very much for your time and keep studying. Bye-bye.